TV for 2025. I'll welcome my co-host Rob Spoilyard. My name's Anthony Smallidge. We're your hosts for this evening and hopefully for a very long time to come. And you can see just to the side here, we have Vichetas, our very first exclusive guest in the studio, Tony Torpcic. So from newly elected Melbourne Knights president, he's going to be here to talk about all things Knights. So we welcome Tony.
Thank you, gents.
And there's another Tony in the background just sitting behind the camera. Our panel operator. Just see if I can add an extra camera, which I've been trying to do, which isn't quite working, unfortunately, but we've still got, at least we've got this camera at the moment. But hopefully everybody that has tuned in is able to hear us. Let me just check. There are some.
I don't think we're on Facebook Live at the moment, or it's not working for me anyway.
Not yet. Let me just check. Edit channels.
And we do apologise for this. We're new to this and we're middle-aged and we don't know what we're doing. Also want to let you know that I woke up sick this morning. So do you reckon we could do this next week? No?
I think the anticipation is such that we have to do it. Tonight because we've talked it up. We're expecting a decent show tonight, but the second camera, for some reason, let me just have a look why it isn't quite coming through, but that's all right. We'll get there. Eventually, I can always step off screen and we can have a look how we go. But Rob, big week overall in our community and abroad, obviously back home. The biggest ticket item this for a long time was the Marko Petkovic Thompson concert in Zagreb at the Hippodrome with approximately 504,000 people in attendance, biggest ticketed event on earth. I think they broke all records with 280,000, whatever it was, tickets sold in 24 hours. So it was just absolutely amazing. And seeing the amount of youth that were at the concert itself was something to behold. So there is a future, I think, for our people over there. And there were a couple of probably the loud minority who were a little bit upset by it all, but overall was a fantastic event, and I think it all went pretty much without any major incidents.
An incredible event. I mean, how can you play it down? I know that a lot of media agencies did try and play it down, not just Croatian ones, but also other European ones from Reuters and other Deutsche World ones. But then all you have to do is take a look at who the journalists were and their surnames, and then straight away you know what time it is. But indeed, $504,000. I mean, it's 504,000 people. I don't know why I've got money on my mind, but that's undeniable to come out to a concert. It was a show of unity that I don't think we've seen in Croatia since the Dorček, when the World Cup silver medalist and the bronze medalist came back and were welcome to mass hysteria. But I think things are changing in Croatia anyway. I mean, in those regards. I remember many years ago, or wasn't many, it was about 7 years ago when we came second in the World Cup in 2018. You brought up that the crowds in Pula was packed, and it was packed full of kids. And you go, well, Pula, I don't think we need to explain how Pula is and what sort of affiliations it's had previously, but the fact that the town was packed shows that Croatia is changing, and then it was the youth too. So that's that new generation that's coming in and loving Croatia for what it is, and not self-denigrating as it has happened for so many decades over there. But going back to that concept, 504,000, and then they always say, "Oh, this is a gathering for the diaspora." I think diaspora was the minimum. I think it was like maybe 15% of it was diaspora. I think majority of tickets were sold in Zagreb alone. So, all these theories about Zagreb being, a communist city, or, they're like this or they're like that. It's not true. I mean, we're talking about bums on seats. That might be a bit of a topic here today as well. But 504,000 people going out, and then by all reports, at minimum 50,000 people outside waiting just to get in not to get in, just to soak up that atmosphere and listen to it and watch it, because I mean that stage was humongous. I think it was over 100 meters wide, because you thought, how is they going to accommodate 500,000 people and entertain 500,000 people? Well, I think we saw how, with the use of drones and the use of production and that. And I know my kum Damir Ljubicic, and I know a lot of people here in Australia know Damir Ljubicic. He texted me the following morning, and he said he went to see AC/DC in Prague, the week before, 80,000 people in Prague, huge event. And he said Angus Young was like, even though he's in his 70s, was just like a teenager running around, and the show was amazing, production was amazing and everything. Like, but he said when he went to Thompson the following week, he said he blew AC/DC out of the water. So, I mean, and that's a muso. So, Dummy, he knows his music, trust me. And he's come out and said, this is, what an incredible event. That this is the most amazing concert he's ever been to in his life. I think it says it all. But just as Croats, and it's just pride in what happened. They were trying to paint it as it was going to be there's injuries and all sorts of things, and it's all going to end up in disaster. And nothing happened, no incidents. It was just a showing of unity with wonderful music, great sound, great production, and people celebrating their backgrounds and particularly their faith as well. I know in 2025 that's a bit of a passe thing. And I heard that word being used about the concert by some of the Estrada over there in Croatia. That was a passe event. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. When the country that has 3.9 million people, a concert draws, let's say with the people outside 600,000 people, is it really passe? Or is that what's currently happening? Is that what people actually want? And media can paint it however they want, but media's been painting a picture of many things for a number of years now. And so most of us now are just turning off the news because you just know there's nothing good coming out of it. Yeah. And then we start listening to podcasts. And that's podcasts here in like a Podroom. And I just want to let you know, right, we own a Podroom, and I know that Anthony's mentioned this before, that there's plumbing that goes through here. I just want to warn everybody that Smolik's mum made gra tonight, right? So if you start hearing weird noises, I didn't have any of it. I just want to let you know, right? It wasn't me. But yeah, an incredible event. It would be wonderful to hear from people who actually went there, and if they have any comments or just give a feedback of their experience, because I know most of us here are pretty jealous about what happened and not that we weren't there.
Exactly, but we have been getting a lot of feedback, emails, Instagram, Facebook posts, wishing us all the very best of luck. So thank you to everybody, people from overseas, people from here, people that we spoke to over the last week or two since the first sort of test episode, which, like we said, was only meant to go for 10 minutes, ended up for an hour and 12 minutes. And my brother-in-law had to take the kids to school the next day because we ended up on that Gorky Bada Pelinkovac for some reason. We have received a pizza delivery from Mark and Mili Torkic. I believe it's arrived. So Rose has just sent that through. But yeah, plenty of messages. Again, we spoke to a lot of people yesterday at Dinamo. Obviously, Melbourne Knights and Dinamo did play round 21. Here we go.
I thought you were taking the piss. No, there's actually a pizza coming.
Pizza delivery from Mark and Millie Talk.
Pizza delivery. Thank you very much to the Talkiches.
To our pizza man, Mr. Kolchig.
I know Rob Huddler did just write a comment saying that, the camera really does put 10% on there. It makes it look bigger. It's actually a scientific fact that the camera puts on 68 pounds. So, yeah, we're actually quite athletic.
Where is he at the moment?
Where are you? Yeah.
He's overseas.
Golf course
Is he?
or something.
No, he's overseas.
There you go.
Yeah, so messages coming through. Obviously, a lot of people at the game. There's quite a crowd yesterday out at Churchill Reserve, reminiscent almost of the tourney of last year in October. Pretty much all four sides or three sides, the other side behind the goal, you can't really have much access to. But behind the goals in that new concreted area, there are a fair few people on the hill on both sides, the traditional Dinamo side of the hill, and then the lot of people on the other. But yeah, camera 2 seems to be malo šteka at the moment, but we'll get there. Don't necessarily need it if it doesn't work, but again, it'll be good to have.
Yeah, camera 2 is a bit like compare number 2 over here, a bit not quite right.
But yeah, there was a business sponsor lunch, and Tony, the two Tonys and a number of people from Melbourne Knights were also in attendance and had their table, a number of sponsors that sponsor both clubs. So we had obviously Kathy and Ivan Filipovic from I&D. We had Luciano Stolica, my old teammate, coach, my kids' coach, a famous name at Melbourne Knights, was also there in attendance. Was he on behalf of the
AHB group and Sheridan Homes?
Sheridan Homes. So big shout out to those guys because they're, again, very, very generous
Great group of people,
sponsors,
like I say that.
and a whole range of other people from our community. We had the Croatian Studies Foundation speaking there. We'll get them on the show once in the future. Croatian Chamber of Commerce. We had Tonči Prusac from Hrvatski Vjesnik, and many of you know him from Dinamo TV. Also spoke. Ante Rozanic and John Biloš went through the plans that are in the pipelines with the grants. I think it was $3.5 million from government, federal, and $2.5 million from local council. And they showed some concept drawings, which look absolutely fantastic.
Incredible, didn't they?
If that comes to pass, that'll be absolutely amazing. But like I said, I've bragged about it. I've been to Concord up in Sydney, the new Concord, and that's a state-of-the-art facility. Hopefully, other clubs follow suit if they're financially able to try and get some funding if they can, or all funding from the government, because that's where we lack a little bit as a community.
Yep.
We tend to always go to the well over and over, put the hat out, get some dollars, get some sponsors or whatever. But the money is with the government, and they're still willing to spend sometimes on silly projects. So why not try and get a piece of the pie and do something there as well? Other than that, there were a fair few other games that happened during the week. I know the Adelaide Raiders are now officially off the bottom. Adelaide Raiders, Croatia in the South Australian NPL.
They did after a very, very slow start. Gotten, 3 out of 4, I think, including the FFA or Federation Cup game I think they've got in South Australia, which they're playing this Saturday night. So everyone out in South Australia, Adelaide, get out to that one and support your Adelaide Croatia Raiders. Logic suggests that they will avoid relegation, I think, the way they're playing and getting the results. Look, fingers crossed. There was a couple of controversies there as well, but, we'll look at the positives there. The results are coming in, and it's good. It's good to see. And you want to see Adelaide Croatia Raiders stay up in the NPL where they deserve to be. Fantastic club, fantastic people. I like them.
Yeah, that's right. I think Sydney United might have gone down to Marconi, from what I understand. I think the Gold Coast Knights might have gotten a win. Strathmore got the win. Strathmore split here.
They did, yep.
As well. And
also after a poor start as well, they've started turning things around as well.
Dandy City on Friday night, a big result for them after being 3-1 down to South Melbourne, and to get the point kept them in touch with the top 6.
Yep.
They were in the top 6 until Preston obviously. Port Melbourne, Altona Magic has now dropped into the pack as well. South Melbourne lost a couple of points. Nothing's over till it's over, so there is still time for everybody to still try and bank some points and do your best to try and stay up in the NPL. But the big game was yesterday at a Churchill Reserve, a few thousand probably, I reckon, if I'm not exaggerating too much.
I think you can safely say there was 2,000 people there. The hill was pretty packed. That certainly the social club side was packed. Now you've got that new area behind the goals, which is probably the best vantage point, like you said, at the ground at the moment, and it's part of these ground upgrades. And it was good. It was good to see. You know what? It was a wonderful day for the Croatian community. It was particularly a wonderful day for St. Albans Dinamo. From the morning, you and I were there both from the morning, and that business luncheon was wonderful, as you already mentioned, and touched from young people.
We'll see if we still hopefully got audio. I know it's live. Your mic is muted while we're backstage. We don't want to end the stream. Camera, about the other camera.
Oh, Sydney Croatian won the Waratah Cup last week.
Oh, they did?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
correct. Yeah, man.
What was it? Has it been?
Audio's working.
Audio is working.
Let's give
So,
it,
so you can hear us cursing.
in the background.
You can hear us cursing.
Jebate strah, kad ti nagovjestim krah. Dolazim po svoje, ledim ti dah. Ne mislim stat, to odavno trebaš znat. Istina kad dođe, pokaže ko
What is it? No. Definitely not working on Facebook.
Yeah, technology.
Saying live? No, it's coming up live. What's that? Something's happened now. It's gone. Okay, no live chat.
Look.
Thinking.
Say something, Rob. Rob, say something. So I don't know. I don't know if anyone can hear us out there. If you could give us a thumbs up or something to let us know. Yeah, actually can hear us. Okay, you can hear us. Okay, well, look, we're just trying to get this all sorted in the meantime. But in the meantime as well, we talk Matthew Pavlinovic. Thanks for joining in. Cup last week, and yes, did see images of that, and it's wonderful to see Sydney Croatia still thriving as well. Maybe have dropped out of the six, I think, but the winners of the cup. So I don't know, something to do with us and cups. I don't know, but now we've gone back to radio now, have we? So Technologia, yes, that's right. Audio is on, no video. Got a thumbs up from DV. I think that. Oh, that's good. Answering a question whether we can hear us. So thanks for that. But oh, here we go.
Here we go. Wrong camera, but we'll get there. We will
I don't know.
there.
Is that? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
coming
I'm
up.
looking
I
at our
can't.
head that close.
I can't see that on YouTube or Facebook Live. We do apologise for this, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what they say: never put down to malice. What